I remember meeting Joe for the first time in 1989 like it was yesterday. I walked into a hotel looking for the man in a three-piece suit who was going to be my new boss. Joe was in his mid-60s. And in sitting down and talking to him, I found out that Joe is a recovering multi-millionaire. And what I meant by that is he had just lost everything in the 80s when the interest rates exploded. And when I mean everything, I mean he lost tens of millions of dollars. Homes, cars, places, things he's owned, vacation places, his IRA, his retirement, everything was gone. And here's what I found fascinating. Joe wasn't upset, frustrated, or angry. He wasn't concerned. I remember asking him, how could you go from the top of the mountain to now starting all over again and not be worried about that, especially being in your mid-60s? Nothing personal, but you're kind of starting out on the back nine now. And he said, Ed, I've been there now. I know how to get there. I'm not just starting out. I've been to the top of the mountain. I know my way. He said, I have found money before. Oh, you figured out again. And Joe taught me a lot of things over the next 6 months that I worked for him. And I so appreciate Joe and the time he spent with me. I want to share two of the things he taught me. They're very, very simple. But for some reason, maybe I have a thick head. I just wasn't thinking about him. The first thing he taught me was, he said, Ed, you have to learn to work half days. Now, when he first taught me this, and he was telling me this, I got really excited because I thought, wow, I'm just coming from the military. And they don't care about the number of hours you work. You're going to work. I thought half day sounds really good. 4 hours, 6 hours maybe. That works for me. And he said, no, you don't understand. He goes, there's 2 halves to every day. He goes, you either work the first half or the second half. And what he meant was 12-hour days. And what he's trying to tell me is success, although it's not complicated, it's hard. Everybody's trying to be successful. He says, you're not going to get ahead being average. You got to work for it. He goes, now after you're successful and you've set it up the right way, you'll not have to work that way. He said, but in the beginning, you're going to have to work your tail end off. He said, get over it, get into the game and start working. But understand, dedicate half days. And number 2, and I don't know why I couldn't figure this one out because I had followed it in every other area of my life. But when it came to money, I wasn't following this. He says, if you want to be successful, copy successful people. Oh, wow. Light bulb. Can you believe that wisdom? And I didn't get it at first because I'm listening to Uncle Bob who told me, Ed, you can't give up getting out of the military because you got 8 years in already and another 12 years plus you'll have a retirement, you'll have security, you'll have safety. You can't get out and be an entrepreneur. You know how many people fail at being an entrepreneur? I was listening to the people who were around me that were just as broke and unsuccessful as I was. And I was wondering, why aren't I successful? Why am I having such a hard time getting ahead? I'm following people who are lost and I'm trying to get found. That's a mistake. If you're in a marriage or relationship and you want to have it successful, imitate people who have a long marriage or relationship. If you want to get into shape, imitate people who are in shape. And boy, if you want to make money, if you want to have a successful business, imitate people who have that. The rich keep getting richer because they keep doing the things that got them rich. And the poor people keep getting poorer because they keep doing the same habits day in and day out that are keeping them poor. If you want to break it, work half days like my friend Joe told me. And start the process of finding some people in your life who are highly successful and imitate them. There you go. Joe's wisdom, I give it to you in 3 minutes, 6 months of learning. Follow those 2 things. Success is not that complicated. It is hard work, but it's not complicated. You can do it. My name is Ed Carcarey. I'd love to connect with you at edcarcarey.com. Find your passion, you'll find your life.